I'm back. I'm Addie Jacobs Real Estate with Yasmine and My Mortgage, and we are talking assumable loans because people don't understand them. So I wanted to talk to Yasmine so she can educate everybody on what they are and how they work.
So assumable loans are pretty huge right now. They have been, I would say, for the past few years, simply because obviously mortgage rates are high, and it's kind of advantageous for a seller to offer you their assumable loan to get their property sold. Addie can also do a search for you on her platform to see what properties are selling with an assumable loan. But these are loans that they had gotten during COVID times. So we're talking about rates at 2%, 3%. And it would be a shame for those to go to waste. So what loans can be assumed are going to be your government products. So your VA loan can be assumed, FHA, USDA. USDA is rural property. Those can all be assumed. Conventional loans cannot be assumed. Jumbo loans cannot be assumed. But if we're talking about our government loans, they can be assumed. A VA loan can be assumed by someone that is not VA if the seller is willing to give up their benefit to that. So that would be a really desperate seller.
No kidding.
That would say,
so they would lose their benefit, right?
They would have somebody hold it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's happened. It is happening. They're kind of saying, I'm okay with it if they have to get out of there and ditch the house. So, and then FHA, obviously another great option to assume the loan. Here's the caveat though. So you have to kind of fill in the gap. So if a loan is only X amount and the purchase price is X amount, you need to fill in the gap with a down payment.
So talk a little bit about that. Give us an example.
So let's say, for instance, a property is $800,000. They're selling it for $800,000, but the assumable loan that's on the property right now is $500,000. Then you need to come up with $300,000 as your down payment to get that loan. And who you're going to go to get that loan, the original assumable loan, is you're going to go to the person, the bank that currently has that loan. You're not going to go to me. You're going to go to the bank that actually has that loan, and you have to get approved with them in order to take over that loan. But again, you've got to fill in that gap because the seller wants $800,000, right? So you would have to come in with that $300,000. That's where everyone ends up calling me saying, Yasmine, how do I get a second mortgage to fill in this gap? Well, you can't get it from me, unfortunately. You would have to get it from that same exact bank. Yep, because two loan officers can't be on a concurrent purchase at the same time. So, so that bank either offers it or they do not. In most cases, they do not, and you're filling in that gap of whatever it is. So I see them a lot. I see these listings a lot, and you're kind of like, oh my God, this is a no-brainer.
Right.
Why wouldn't I just take over this loan? Like it's 3% on the rate, easy peasy. But yet those listings still sit, and you're like, how has this property not sold yet? Because it's just not that easy. There is a gap that you have to cover, and hey, maybe in some cases the gap is not that big.
Especially with the saving of the interest rate.
Right. That, or like maybe they just bought it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it just hasn't really, especially with VA and they had zero down. Maybe it just really doesn't have that much of a equity gap there. So, but that's how that's how they work. I feel like I deal with it a lot just because it's kind of like, how do I take this over, Yasmine? And truthfully, you got to go directly to that bank. And then again, 50-50 chance if they're going to give you a second mortgage to help you fill in that gap.
And so if they don't, then you got to come in with the cash. Right. Yeah. And how long do those typically take? To do all paper,
I think it's just as a typical loan should be. Anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks.
Right, got it. All right, you guys, so if you have any questions on that, or you may see that on Zillow, I know that I get a lot of questions from buyers who are like, what does this mean? It just came up the other day. What does this mean? Because there's a lot of people giving, seller credit or buyer credit too to do buy downs, and so there's all kind of creative things going on right now. I feel like you must see so much.
Yes. And it's just kind of like figure out your situation. Does it work for you? Can you get your foot through the door on this property? Right. And that's really what it comes down to. So
awesome, you guys. All right, take care, and we will chat with you soon.
Bye.
Love that you're on my channel. Please subscribe. What's great for me too is I have a new selling guide, and it's gonna help you navigate selling here in San Diego and helps me know who you are. So download that guide here on YouTube. I would love to help you.